Hey, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, I know you guys are probably feeling a little extra down today because it was supposed to be our big Healdsburg concert. And it's a shame that the seniors don't get to one last hurrah together in Rockhurst Choir. But we all wanted to reach out to you guys and thank you for all of the hard work you guys have put in the past 4 years to make us better singers and also just to make us better people in general. I came to Rockhurst Choir with every intention of leaving after freshman year, but you guys were so enthusiastic and you really gave choir a meaning to practice, and it got me addicted to the process and kept me coming back for more. And I would not be where I am today musically without you guys, and I can't wait to see how Rockhurst Choir grows over the next 10 years, Mr. Lawler, 10 more years, and I'll be sure to come to choir class whenever I can. See you.
Hey, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, thank you so much for making choir my favorite class for 4 years and instilling in me a love for choir. Keep it up, and thank you for all your hard work.
Hey, it's two of the choir council members here, and we want to say
thank you,
Mr. Anderson
and Mr. Lawler.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for all you guys have done for us. We've really appreciated it over these last 4 years. Thank you.
And Mr. Lawler, when I came to Rockhurst, I thought I was going to be in choir for 1 year, and that quickly changed. Choir has been one of the best experiences I've had throughout high school. One specific example was the Italy trip. I really made a lot of great new friends on that trip, as well as choir over the past 4 years. So I just want to say thank you for all that you've done for me. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson, Mr. Lawler, I just want to thank you so much for being my choir teacher over these past 4 years. My choir experience has been amazing. I've learned so much about music, and getting to know all my classmates, from the 100-some people in freshman choir to the great group of juniors and seniors we had this year. It's just been amazing, and I can't imagine my high school experience without it.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for making choir one of the best experiences of high school and definitely one of the best classes at Rockhurst.
Hey, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Lawler, I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving us a great 4 years of choir. Well, 3.5, but we don't need to talk about that. But thank you for giving us a 4 years of great choir and getting us all involved with music and singing, and just overall being good role models at Rockhurst. And I just really appreciate my time in choir, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler.
Mr. Anderson, Mr. Lawler, thank you so much. Choir was something that I never really thought I would be doing, and it has taken me places and given me opportunities that I never imagined. And I really enjoyed my 3 years in your class. And actually, as of recently, I'm going to be singing in an a cappella choir next year in college. So that's all possible because of you guys. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for making choir the best class I ever took at Rockhurst. Thank you. I just had a blast in choir, and thank you for everything you've done for us the past 4 years.
Hey, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, just wanted to thank you guys for the last 4 years at Rockhurst. You guys have been a big part of my Rockhurst experience.
Hi, Mr. Anderson. Hi, Mr. Lawler. I know this isn't the way that any of us expected this year to end, and it's really a shame. But I'm here just to say thank you, because even though I wasn't here for 4 years like most of the seniors, I got to be there for 2. And I'm so glad I decided to join the choir. Honestly, you guys do so much more than lead a class that's just there to fill up a space in the day, and it's much more than just filling up your art credit to pass Rockhurst. No, it's there to enrich students, and you've definitely enriched me more than you may think. Like, it's so cool to me to hear the choir stylizations of a whole lot of Eastern stuff, all that stuff that we did. That stuff's really, really cool. So for this enriching experience that you've provided to me, and this experience that I've had to sing with my brothers that you also have supplied, from the bottom of my heart, I say thank you.
Hey, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, I'd just like to thank you for all that you've done for me these last 4 years. It's been a lot of fun.
Hey, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler. I just want to thank you guys for everything you've taught me over the last 3.5 years. I've enjoyed watching the choir program grow since Patrick joined, and it's been an honor to be a part of what you guys have created. I'll never forget all the golf jokes you guys had with me and all the fun times we had. I look forward to seeing what the choir program holds for Brian and can't wait to come back and sing with you guys. Thank you again for all your work and everything you've taught me.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler. I have thoroughly enjoyed my 4 years of choir. I originally took choir because my sister told me to, and I did not think that I'd stay in for 4 years, but I've had a great time staying in choir, and I'm gonna miss it. Wish you guys the best in everything that you do, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for the past 4 years. It's been a real blast, if I'm being quite honest, and sucks to see it in this way, but it is what it is. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for being huge parts of my high school experience at Rockhurst and for genuinely caring about your students. I'm really going to miss you guys in choir next year, so thank you for everything you've done for me.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for 4 awesome years of Rockhurst Choir.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for all the hard work you've done for us and investing your time in us and making us into great singers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler.
Mr. Lawler and Mr. Anderson, I want to thank you both for all you've done for me and the Rockhurst Choir program over the years. I remember deciding to take choir as a sophomore just to get my fine arts elective out of the way. And then after that, I realized I wanted to stay in choir until I graduated Rockhurst as a senior, which I'm about to do now. And I really want to thank you both for helping me become a better singer. And also, Mr. Lawler, if you haven't seen It Chapter 2 yet, I highly recommend checking it out. Also, word of advice, please get the stuffed Build-A-Bear fixed. Its voice box needs to be heard by all choir students that come through Rockhurst. But anyway, in all seriousness, thank you both for everything you've done for me. I'll never forget my time in the Rockhurst Choir.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for everything that you've done for us these past 4 years and for really fostering my love of music and kind of making me rediscover my love for it. So, thanks a million.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler. It's been a great 4 years.
Hey, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Lawler. I just want to say thank you so much for everything you've done for all of us these past 4 years. Choir was a great experience for me at Rockhurst, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I have so many great memories of all our different choir concerts, trips, retreats, rehearsals, and just want to say that, at these times I'm missing being in choir right now. Wish we could have had our concert, but I'm looking forward to our concert next year, and I can't wait to come back and visit and sing with you again.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Thank you, Mr. Lawler.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for your 4 years of choir experience. From Mr. Lawler's read the board moments to Mr. Anderson's metaphors, it's been a great ride over the last 4 years.
Thank you to Mr. Lawler and Mr. Anderson for everything. You guys are the best.
Hey, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Lawler. I just want to take the time to thank you guys for everything you've done for me and all my classmates over the last 4 years.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for all your hard work through the 4 years. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for the past 4 years.
Hi, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Lawler. I just wanted to quickly express my gratitude for what I consider to be an absolutely amazing rock choir's experience. Whether it was through what you taught me about music or about my singing technique, but more importantly, just about the different ways that you made me think about so many different things that have been going on in my hectic high school life. I'm just so appreciative. I feel so lucky to have had you two right by my side throughout my high school experience. My rock choir's experience is something I wouldn't give for anything, and I'm so thankful for the help that you gave me throughout all 4 of my years. So thank you so much. Hey, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Lawler. Just wanted to say thank you for everything you've done. Sucks we couldn't get to finish off the year with a bang at Hellsburg, but you know what? I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at Hellsburg next year.
Thanks, Mr. Alder and Mr. Anderson, for helping us during our time at Rockhurst Choir.
I would like to thank Mr. Lawler and Mr. Anderson for all they've done for the class of 2020 through these 4 years. It really means a lot. Thank you.
Hey, James here. You guys have probably provided the most unique experience for any of the Rockers guys. And you probably have the most work out of anyone right now with all the recordings and stuff. So I want to say thank you personally. You've done a lot for me and for a lot of guys. Still working on those late assignments. We'll get those in. Thank you guys.
Hey, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lauer, thanks for everything you've done for the last 4 years. From letting me clean the choir room, to playing for me for auditions, to giving me a church job, to letting me hang portraits of our choir council on the wall. I'm really sad our time got cut short, but I'm really glad I got to know you guys.
Hey, Coach. Hey, Mr. Lawler. So we were asked to record a video for you guys of just saying thank you for these past several years in choir, and I just want you to know that I don't think I can put into words how much this program has meant to me. It's been just terrific, and I gotta say, the best thing I've done over my high school experience was join choir. The worst thing I've done was wait a year to do it. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for all that you've done for us. Really appreciate it, and it sucks that we couldn't finish out the year strongly, but thanks anyways. I've truly had a blast throughout choir, and I've learned some great skills because of taking this class, so thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Lawler, for all that you do. We all really appreciate it, and I had a great 4 years, and I'm sure everyone else in my class did as well.
Thank you.